correctly. One thing when I was at the High Point Enterprise, I always got tagged as the black reporter, and it irked my nerves. Frank knows what I'm talking about. Oh, it used to make me mad, especially since there were two of us in the room, and half the time they couldn't figure out who was who. They call us a different name. But when you had people outside, they go, oh, well, you call the black reporter. And I couldn't figure out why. And it sat with me. I had to pray about that thing. But someone came to me and they said, well, maybe it's because you are the person inside that they can reach to. And because of that, it made me think about the fact that who would tell these stories if I didn't? And I think it was at that point I did actually, it was another point, that I actually joined Triad Association of Black Journalists. Because who would tell these stories if we weren't here? Who would understand you and your background and your dynamics if there weren't black journalists who came from the same places, or the same minority journalists, female journalists, single parent homes, all of the above? Who would tell these stories? So no one has that power but you guys. You just have to be able to use it correctly. And that's something that we have. Chisa's a member of TABJ, so we have those conversations about how to tell your own story and how to tell it with power. On the other end of how can you guys help me, I don't know. I don't have any business at High Point, that's one. Two, it's just one of those things where for what we do, I would say love a reporter. We do some hard stuff. We put up with some hard stuff. We're not always perfect. We get death threats. I remember when I got my first one, my mama hit the roof. She's back there too. But it's one of those things where we're actually out here for you guys. And your story is more valuable to us than Walmart selling this 1,000th product. Use that power.
All right, so I want to bring up somebody who doesn't know that I'm bringing them up, but I'm bringing them up because this is one of the things that we want to let you know. Our goal is to really not just talk about it, but be about it. So, Cynthia, if I can get you to come over here really quickly, because we wanted to make a point when we talk about the power that we have. And so Cynthia is the new MWBE director for Guilford County. Put your hands together for Cynthia. So if you could just give them a little something, because what Carlos was saying regarding suppliers and contractors, and just tell them how important it is that they do get registered. And we do have an event coming up on September 7th where they will be able to get registered if this is their type of business. You can just give them a little insight into why it's important and how you can help their businesses.
Good evening. Thank you. And thank you for putting me on the spot. It's not good to give a preacher a mic. I actually used to preach here a couple of years ago. I was an associate pastor when First Baptist was here, and we will hold our services here. So it's a little bit of coming home for me. But I've been with Guilford County now for about 8 months, so I have been very, very busy. One, looking into and investigating what has been happening in all of Guilford County, because my territory includes all of Guilford County. So I've just in the last couple of months been doing a lot of activities coming here to High Point to learn a little bit more about the dynamics of the businesses that are here in High Point. I've been partnering with Chisa and with Mr. Lester to help me with doing some of the training that Guilford County has to do. Right now I'm an office of one person, and a lot of responsibility and a lot of work that has to be done. One is, my goal is to be your advocate and your conduit. I represent Guilford County to the community and the community back to Guilford County government. And so my goal is to make sure that I know what your needs are with regards to issues that you have. I want to make sure that we're able to give you not just information, but we're able to give you training to move you to the next level so that you can become as successful as you want to be. Some people that I have worked with over the years, I have been doing minority advocacy for since 1999, actually, in different capacities within the state system. I come from the university system and have spent 22 years at UNCG. And prior to there, I was at North Carolina A&T, where I got my bachelor's degree from, working in construction. So I've been advocating for minority businesses, contractors, designers, professional services, vendors that sell furniture, for a long time. So I know a lot of the dynamics of what has happened over the years. And so what I'm there to help Guilford County government do is to improve our services to the community by investing our efforts into you. So I've got some information over here on the table about how to do business with Guilford County that tells you how to sign up. There are 2 registrations that we ask for. You don't have to be certified to do business with Guilford County, but in order to be included in some of increasing the efforts of being exposed, as well as the way that the state counts minority participation, you have to be certified through the state hub office, which is the historically underutilized business office. As Chisa said, September the 7th, we are doing a hands-on training where you will come in, you will be registered with Guilford County. In order to do business with Guilford County, you have to be registered as a vendor. That's important. In order for you to receive bid notifications, solicitation notifications, and in order to be able to get paid, you have to be registered with Guilford County so that it goes through that automated system. That's the only way that they issue contracts. That's the only way they issue payments when you send an invoice in, is to be that way. It doesn't cost anything for either one. Guilford County, once you register as a vendor, you're registered as a vendor, and it does not expire until and unless you change your business name or you tell us that you want that to be canceled, and that's when it will expire. For the state, that certification is also free. It is a 3-part registration process, but it lasts for 4 years. So once you become registered, there are 2 parts that are online, and then there are required documents that you would have to send to Raleigh. I don't go over any of your financial information or anything pertinent like that. That goes to the Raleigh office, and then their compliance officers will review that, approve that. You get a letter indicating that you have been approved, and that is your certification. Once you do that, you send a copy to me, and I'll put it in the file. I create a company profile for every company that comes to me, and that way I get to know who you are, what type of service you provide, and what your needs are, and then I can match you with the different departments. Guilford County has about 26 departments, and some of them are duplicated because there's an office in Greensboro and there's an office here in High Point. So it really equates to about 32 different departments that I have some oversight in what they do, their purchases, their bid opportunities. When they do that, those directors come to me, or whoever their purchasing procurement person, they come to me so that I can work with them and help them to identify potential minority businesses that they can either do solicitations to, or that they can contact, and we make sure that you got either a bid opportunity, and anything for some of those services that are under $30,000 for the construction side, it doesn't require a public bid. They can go directly to one vendor and ask them about that particular job, and if their quote is within the budget for that particular project, it can be awarded without going through the bid process. And that's by state law. It was created that way to open up more opportunities for that.
So part of the reason, and as everybody mentioned here this evening, sometimes you can't get invited. Sometimes you can invite yourself. But if you didn't know in the first place, you didn't know who the host was, or you didn't necessarily know where the table was, that would be a problem. And so we want to be able to try to reduce some of these barriers for you, and that's why we're here this evening. So I'd like to open it up to if we have about 7 minutes. if anybody has a question. So if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand and feel free to come on up here also. I'm going to let you do that too. But I just want to be able to make sure that people have time to ask questions. Go ahead.
We have just launched our Facebook page as of last Friday or last week. So if you go to the Guilford County guilfordcountync.gov/MWBE. That's our webpage location, and then you can click the Guilford County MWBE program is what you would search for on Facebook. But we just launched that, and that's where I will also post information about events, not just Guilford County events, but events that are happening all around the Triad. We're starting to put some of that information out there, so that's a resource. So when you get a chance, all of you who heard about this on Facebook, all those 40 or so hands I saw go up, please go on to our new page and like our page. And then as you do that, you'll continue to get those notifications when I post events and activities on that site.
Okay. She said, can you repeat it? So from what I understood, it was Guilford. Say it again.
Guilford County NC.gov is Guilford County's webpage. And then if you type that in /MWBE, that'll take you to the new MWBE webpage. Mm-hmm. Our Facebook page, if you do the search and you search for Guilford County MWBE program, that'll take you to our new Facebook page.
Okay, and so now we're going to open it up if you have questions. Linda's going to bring it right over there. Okay.
The question that I have is equity in contracting with the city of High Point. I heard her talk about MWBE as it relates to Guilford County, but does anybody have any information as it relates to contracting and equity in contracting for Black and minority businesses for the city of High Point?
So you can ask the chamber people, because they would be able to specifically talk to you about High Point, because one of the biggest things is that people don't realize when you're talking about these certifications, you have a state level certification, but then you also have a county, and then each city has its own. So if people are getting registered, depending upon what they're interested in and what their business is, they would need to register at all of those things. So let's just say you could register at the state, which would then enable you to be able to get state, contracts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but, yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There is nothing in place.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody know? Okay.
Amber, so.
How do people,
Mm-hmm.
what my thoughts are, how do people get access to what is happening in the city of High Point and doing contracts, whether it is a construction contract, whether it is professional services? There is nothing that I know of that's in place. And it seems that that's one of the things, you talk about things being kept from us, that's one of the things that's being hush-hush. But what I want to do, and I'm going to rock the boat here tonight with this issue.
I'm with it, rock it.
Somebody has got to get some word into the city of High Point and give them the information that we're
that you're requesting.
Discussing here.
Yeah.
That we have got to understand how you contract with them, so that we level the playing field, so that, for example, larger companies don't get all the construction contracts. These other companies don't get the professional business contracts. Something has got to give.
So I think what we can do is, and that's a great point that you bring up, if there is something that's missing, and I always tell people in any workshop that we do, if you see there's something that's not happening, then let us know, so that this way we can be able to put something together for that. Now, I know our schedule is full for like the rest of this year, but I do think that is something that we can put together, because that is a problem, right? It's not just an issue, it's a problem. If you don't have access to the resources, then you can never be on a level playing field. And so I think that what we need to do is then take that energy and put that into being able to have a workshop so that this way you can find out exactly what you can do specifically in High Point. Because like she's saying, she covers Guilford County, which means, yes, you can still, do that, but that's not High Point where you're actually living. So when you talk about that, then that would give us the opportunity to be able to put together a program like that that specifically addresses those concerns. So I definitely think that that's something that we can put together for 2020 to make sure that those opportunities are available, because, there is a city of High Point, which means that you should be able to do business with them. And so that's something that we can definitely put together for next year.